Hi everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I'm back today, and we're going to do a one-page wonder. This one is one I'm replicating from Sandy at Septeria 18. I just love this. I love the size of it and how much stuff you can put in it. So it's a folder, a folio, I'm not quite sure, but there's this fabulous back pocket. And then it opens up like this. And then you have a pocket here and a pocket here. And of course you can get some quite large pieces in there, which I love. So we've got those. And then here at the bottom, we have a pocket, a tiny one, and then we have another large pocket. And all of this, not the pieces, is made with one piece of paper, except for this little pocket and that piece of vellum. I'll give you some options, because if you don't want to do the one-page wonder in a bit, you could skip this and just have these pockets. And Sandy pointed that out too. So I thought that was great to have an option. And if you don't have vellum, you don't have to do that. Again, just make it your own, and I'll show you some of those options. But it's so roomy. I mean, I could definitely put a lot more in here. And it is, at this point, still fairly flat. It would be a wonderful, I think, gift for someone, and flat enough to be in a large journal if you wanted to. So pretty. Okay. Oh, the paper I'm using. I am using paper by Graphic 45. It's the Cafe Parisian, and the papers are just gorgeous. So that's what we're using. And that's what I'm going to use also for the one we do today. This one, it had the cherries and this fabulous blue on the back. And then for the one we're going to make today, I picked these roses, and there's like some butterflies in there. And then this checker pattern on the back. So I'm excited about that too. I do think this one will work best with patterns that don't have too much direction to them, but you could certainly try it. It might be okay. And of course I use some seam binding as my little closure. So anyway, fun, and it's really easy. So let's set that aside, and we'll do our scoring to begin with. So the first thing you're going to do is take your 12 by 12 paper, and you want to score at 2 inches and at 10 inches. And I will put the measurements for you in the description. And then we are going to turn the paper to the left, and we are going to score. Actually, I want to turn it to the right. Yes, I want to turn it to the right, only because it sort of has a direction, and I want to see how it works. If your paper doesn't have a direction, it doesn't matter. Okay, score at 2 and at 7. I hope I didn't confuse you guys. You basically are scoring at 2 and 10, and then turning your paper once, whichever you choose, 2 and 7. And I'll have that all typed up for you in the description. Now I'm going to take a moment and crease my paper and ink it so that you guys can see where I'm going to be putting the cuts. It's a whole lot easier with, like, even with this checkered pattern, like, to see it with a little bit of ink on there. So that's what we're going to do. And I am trying to be careful as I hold on these scores. You want it as neat as you can. And if you can see your paper and you don't want to ink, you don't have to. So that's up to you. But I'm inking because I want to, and because it's going to be much easier, I hope, for you guys to see on camera. I am using my Distress ink and tea dye today. just so you know what I'm using. Welcome everyone, I'm glad you're here, and I hope you like this project, and we'll try making one. This really is an easy one, and I think sometimes it's nice to have these that come together so quickly. All right, and you can use this, you know, this would be a good like coupon holder. I don't know, people still have paper coupons. I know a lot of that's electronic now, to keep your lists, you know, all of those types of things. All right, later I will also, well, I'll just go ahead really quick and ink around the edge. And I may have to ink on the other side as we get going, but at least this will be done. Okay. So if you guys can think of other great uses for these, I love when you guys leave comments. Of course, I love that. Any comment is welcome. But when you say, oh, you could also use it for this, or you could do this with it, it's just fun when you do that. Okay, so now when you have your paper turned with the large section and the small section this way, and then the two inches on the left and the right, you are going to, let me get a pencil. You are going to cut right along this score line to the crease, this score line to the crease, and then the two bottom ones. Okay, so however you want to do that, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip right in the middle. I didn't even, on my original, I didn't even like cut the score out or anything on this one. So we'll see how it goes today as well. So just, you know, cut so you have those flaps. And cut. And cut. Very easy. And I'm going to set it down so again you can see where we cut. So if you want to craft with me, or you know, want to draw a picture, that's what we're going to do. Now, I am going to do one little measurement. You can certainly eyeball this, but I'm going to measure mine. On these two flaps, I am going to come down and make a mark at 1 inch. I don't know if you can see that. I just marked 1 inch, and I'm going to do the same thing on this flap. Then I'm going to take my ruler and put it right at that corner, match it up with the mark that's at 1 inch. Make sure you get it straight, bam, and draw a line. Just like that. And then I'm going to come to this side and do the same thing. There's my line. There's my corner. It's better to take your time and make sure you have it lined up nice and straight. Now, we are going to cut that out, if you hadn't guessed. So, cut right on the line up to the corner, and it should come right out. And if you can think of a use for that, save it, or you can toss it. And we're going to cut this one out as well. Same thing, right on that line up to the corner. And if you have a little pencil left over, I think I cut mine all off, but you can erase it. Okay, so now your paper looks like this. And I want the pattern to be on the outside. Certainly, if you want it to not be, and you want the checkerboard, turn it whichever way you want the pattern to be. I want my pattern on the outside. All right. We're going to fold these two flaps in. And if you want to add some ink, now's your chance, because we're going to glue these down. Get them out of the way. Okay. So I'm just going to use my white glue, and this is my Line Co brand PVA glue. You can use any glue that you like. I don't think a glue stick would work because we're making pockets. We're just going to do a thin bead at the bottom and the top and close this up. But you know, whatever glue you like to use. Tacky glue, an art glitter glue, anything like that. There we go. Same thing for this flap. A little bit along the bottom and the top. And all that inking I did, I'm covering up. But it did make it easier to see, don't you agree? All right, and then just make sure this is folding down nicely. Your cover. Okay, now we're going to fold these flaps in. I'm going to go ahead and ink them as well. And then we are going to talk about your options. So you can glue these down and have 2 pockets here and be done with the inside, right? Or you can add the end a little bit, and we're gonna do that on ours. So if you like it just like this, add glue here and here and glue it down. To make the extra pockets, like in my sample, there's a piece of vellum and a piece of the scrapbook paper. This is how you're going to do that. If you don't have vellum, you can use 2 pieces of scrapbook paper. So anything that you want to do that you like will work. Now, I didn't really even look at my pattern when I picked this. I just used the other piece from my other project. So the little cakes and macaroons and stuff are very cute. I think this is too similar to this pattern, so we're going to use it this way. I'm going to go ahead and just ink it and get it ready. The measurement for this piece is 1 3/4 inches by, what did I do, 5. And that way it will reach across. And I did round the corners on these. That's the original video, she did that, and I thought it looked really good. So there we go. All right, set that aside. The piece of vellum that I'm going to use measures 5.5 by 4, and then I'm going to tear it because, again, I loved how that looked when she did that. So let me just show you. Just get a nice tear, and we're going to have that torn look. I didn't ink my sample, but we could even ink it and we'll see it a little more. Now, I'm going to show you how to attach all of this here in just a moment, but let me show you, if you don't have vellum, here, we'll use one of these cards. You could, this one fits. So, and it could be shorter. You could tear this one. I'm not going to tear it because I don't want to tear up my card. But you could just have a piece of scrapbook paper and a piece of scrapbook paper. And super cute, right? It looks just as cute with the scrapbook paper. It's just not see-through. Okay? So don't let that hang you up if you don't have vellum. I know sometimes we're like, use whatever you have, and then it's hard to imagine what it would look like. All right, for the vellum, add glue along the bottom, just the bottom for right now, and put it right above that score line. And at the size that I have, you shouldn't have any problem getting it close enough to centered. I went a little to the right. The piece is long enough that it fits in there great. Okay. Now, we are going to add glue along the vellum, just like that, and a little bit right along the cardstock, about the same height as your vellum. My glue is acting up. Where is my pen for my glue? Every once in a while it does this. It's very strange. It's not often. Okay, there we go. And then just press it down. Wipe any that oozes. All right, now we have a nice big pocket back here. Okay. We'll just leave that in there for now. And then we're going to add this little pocket, which again, you could skip this pocket. You don't have to put this one in. but I just love it. I think it's so cute. So just glue on the two sides and along the bottom, and it gives it a little more going on. I'm just centering it again above this crease line. All right. Doesn't it already look so cute? I'm so happy. All right, now this closes like this, and then we do that back pocket. So then you're just gonna fold this back. So you have the contrast, and then these will fold forward. And this is where you have to play with it just a touch to get this crease. I'm not quite sure why it bubbles a little bit, but both of mine have done that. But if you just work with it, it will work itself out. Okay. That looks good. All right, to make it look a little more decorative, let's round these corners. I used the larger size on the prototype, and I decided to go with the smaller one. I don't know why. I just did. Little ink. Now let's look around on the back. This side is already inked nicely, and we are going to glue it down. Now, right here are my fold lines. Now it's going to be hard to see. You want to add the glue to not on the flap. So in this case, to the right, and on this one, it will be, the glue is to the left. I just wanted you to be able to see that. So glue here and here to make the back pocket. See how fast this is? I do want some ink right along here and right along here. And then when you come back to the front, these come this way. And it looks great. Now I punched holes and set eyelets, and I love that look, so we're gonna do that. If you don't have eyelets, just punch a hole. It will be okay. Now these are 2 inches, these flaps. So I'm making a mark. Again, you can eyeball it, but because they're kind of close together, I do want them to be centered and kind of look the same. So I'm making a little dot, and I came in, let's do 1 centimeter. Ha. So I'm going to move my dot up. It's going to get covered up by the eyelet, but that way I know what I'm aiming for. So again, here we're going to mark it at 1 inch, which is the center, and then mark it 1 centimeter in. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab my crocodile and punch. And punch. All right, hopefully they're pretty close. And let me grab some eyelets. I think I used all the gold ones, and I really like the gold ones. I think this bronzy color, that'll be pretty. I ordered some more gold ones. I can't find the We Are Memory Keeper brands and these wide eyelets anymore. I'm a little sad about it. So I'm gonna try another brand. So I just ordered them in gold, not any other colors. I think they were $5.99. So if they work well, I will let you guys know. If you like these kind of eyelets, I'm just gonna set it with my Big Bite. And if they don't work well, I'll let you know so you don't waste your money. But these are the brand name ones, and they always work really well. But my stash, I'm running low, and it's a little sad. Okay, let's see what we've got. I want something to decorate the front, And I put a strip here, the other side of this little paper were some little tiny polka dots. You can see right there. Then I put glue on the wrong side of the paper. I think the polka dots would have looked a little better instead of so much busy pattern. But it is what it is. So let's see. Oh, look, here's the polka dots. We'll see. We may want to, I really like enjoy the little things with the T. Let's see if any of the ones I've pre-cut will look nice on the front. This one says, happiness is a cup of coffee and a good book. Now that's cute. And then this one says, enjoy the little things. That one has a little more contrast. But I kind of like this because, you know, you could put like a book list in here, you know, a favorite books. I don't know. That one's cute too. Now, there's plenty of paper that we could go through and find a strip and cut it. Let's just see what we like. I'm not sure I like the polka dots with the checks as much. I am kind of liking, wonder if I cut, I'm trying to see if there's any way. There's not any way to get enjoy the little things and have this centered. Or I can just skip putting something underneath, but I do like that. I like having something under there, even if we can't read the words. So this folder ends up being 8 inches. And we know from experience, don't we, that my little trimmer only really does 5 inches or 4 inches. So I'm just marking it so I can cut this off at 8 inches. I guess I could have cut it on the other side at 4 since it's a 12-inch strip. Okay. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just trying to decide, since it's talking, it's the same thing, that little cup of coffee. Yeah, this is the right one. Okay. And you can decorate the front of yours however you want. And again, depending on the papers you're using, lots of options. You could add another little pocket tuck spot. You could do more of a neutral paper and do a pretty collage on the front. That would be nice. I'm just going to glue mine down. And this one is a little bit thicker than the one I used on the other. So again, pick what you think looks nice. I'm going to bring it up some. And then we're going to glue this one down. I like this paper too. It's always hard when you do all the cut up cards because sometimes the paper on the back of those are some of my favorites. I'm like, oh. Okay. I like that. Cute. And we could add lace, ribbon, all kinds of things. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put a few things inside, and then we will pick a piece of ribbon. So I think this would be cute there. We've already put a big one in there. I'll do it like this. Just kind of scooch it over a touch. That's cute. We'll put another small one down there, and then some of the little pieces in this pocket. How's that sound? And again, you can put other journaling cards. You can put stickers, ephemera. I love the possibilities for this one. I'm going to put this strip in here too. And then for this back pocket, I saved one of the big ones. Okay, we could decorate this pocket, you know, that would be cute, right? Do something. So lots of options. Here's a little piece of that that has the rose on it. That's so pretty. Okay, so I picked the blue ribbon for this one. And you could use lace. I mean, again, you don't have to be like me and put seam binding on everything, but it is what I have on hand. Look at that, so pretty. All right, we'll see. I think I measured this and I used about 23 inches. I'll measure it for you in just a second. Let's just see. Just have to have enough to tie a bow. I'll tell you if I cut way too much or what did I do. Yeah, this is like 23, 24 inches pretty much when it's stretched out. And all I'm doing is tying it like this and then pulling it off of one end when I've got it open. A little longer than what we needed. Cute. Happy. You guys know ribbon makes me happy. All right, let's put this away so we can look at what we've got. This was our prototype, and this is the one we've made. And that is my pin for my glue. So they both open the same way. And this is what I meant. I'm just pulling it through like that, opening it up. Isn't it precious? You could decorate these with this fun pattern paper. I just didn't feel the need to go crazy embellishing the pockets. But if you use a more neutral paper, what a great opportunity. You could also put little tiny pockets along here or an angled one. So fun, right? So I hope you will enjoy this one and think about making it. Let me know if you do. If you are new and haven't subscribed, I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. And everybody leave me a comment and tell me how you are. And until next time. Oh, I was going to say, if you're still with me and listening, I think the next video after this one will be the weekly 15-minute challenge. And then we'll be back. Hopefully, that's my plan, is then we'll be back to our making a journal out of an old book. The next phase of that, I've been working on prepping and getting those papers ready. So that should be coming very soon. And I've also been working on my scrapbook folio with the lake paper for my aunt. So hopefully I'll have a flip through of that before too long to show you. So all kinds of fun things. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Until next time. Thank you for watching.